Well, the marketing for Doctor Who Season 2 is going way off the rails. Yeah, it's Season 2. I mean, that's ridiculous calling it that by itself, but that's what they're calling it because everything's year zero with the woke, and they're always doing a new first, right? Well, they announced that there's this new writer coming on board who's a transgender activist who writes like groomer books. I joking you not. And I don't know why they just announced this. They did this whole slew of press for Juno Dawson the other day when the show has already filmed season 2 as of last year. So it's not like, the writing's new or they just came out with this, but they decided to make this announcement. And of course, it went about the way that they wanted. And this dude pretending to be a woman is attacking fans. That's going to go great for them as usual. R.I.P. Doctor Who again. We'll get into the news in just a moment. Please smash that like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things in science fiction. And I love Doctor Who, at least what it used to be. But I am a science fiction writer myself, and I would love for you to check out my trilogy. It's called The Arishon War, and it is a book about being in space. There's a human spy who embeds himself on a alien starship in the middle of a war, trying to bring back information to humanity. And as this goes along, things get very, very complicated. He gets personally entangled, and it ends up just really blowing up over a 3-book series. If you like good writing, if you like good science fiction, my friends, please check out this book. It's in the description below. Grab the whole trilogy today. And actually, I know it's the beginning of the month. You might have Audible credits. The whole series is available on audiobook to make it easy for you if you prefer to read that way. Catch up, guys. I'm writing some great science fiction that's going to be spinning out of this that'll be coming out this summer. You won't want to miss it. Thank you so much for supporting and reading. Doctor Who fans are the best, and you're in the description below if you've not checked it out so far. So, this is wild. Last week, the BBC announced Doctor Who hired transgender activists for their writer's room of Ncuti Gatwa Season 2, receiving backlash from fans on the show, further spiraling into identity politics. Juno Dawson responded on Instagram, attacking fans, of course. Doctor Who has become a cesspool of LGBTQ propaganda and identity politics since Russell T Davies retook the position as showrunner. His 60th anniversary specials were filled with cringe-inducing virtue signal lines, including a man pretending to be a woman when they insulted fans by calling him Rose, much insulting the whole David Tennant Doctor Who era, as he lectured Doctor Who with Catherine Tate on being a male-presenting Time Lord. Yes, that was real dialogue. The politics got worse during Ncuti Gatwa's first season. This is the gay black doctor, with the casting of drag queen Jinx Monsoon as the maestro, and then constant references to homosexuality in the show across all of the episodes. The lowest point came in the episode Rogue, where the doctor abandoned his companion to go make out with another man. Yes, that happened too. It was written by, of course, a Disney Plus writer from like the MCU's Loki. All these people are the same. Russell T Davies stated the agenda is far more important to him than the show on several occasions. Originally asked about it by Collider, he said it just feels natural. This is the world, it's 2024, and we're all embracing it. Well, guess what? It's 2025 now, bro, and nobody embraced this whatsoever. At San Diego Comic-Con, when he was asked about whether he listened to fan criticism of the show's new direction, Russell T Davies bumbled a non-answer before shifting the conversation to say, to be honest, in terms of online activity, I think I'm more interested in what's happening. I think Doctor Who's fine. I think there are things happening in the culture war, particularly with trans rights, a million times more important than what's happening with Doctor Who. And of course, he's trying to inject that into Doctor Who at every single step of the way. Ratings have been terrible. The 60th anniversary specials were the lowest on record, and then the lowest episodes on record came with season 1. And this latest Christmas special did even worse than those, with only 4.11 million in the overnight ratings, the lowest rated Doctor Who special ever on this level. So fans are rejecting this at rates which they've never seen before. And of course, the Disney execs are not happy with their investment. BBC's not happy, but they're still going forward with it because these are true believers in the cause. And of course, they're going forward with even doubling down on identity politics and everything. So they'll be returning this year with season 2, already filmed. And BBC did this press tour announcing transgender activist Juno Dawson as one of the writers. This man is best known for his book called This Book is Gay. Yes, this is his famous book right here, as well as The Gender Games. Yes, that's his other book. He also worked on a Doctor Who podcast called Doctor Who Redacted that featured Jodie Whittaker, the female replacement Doctor. Now, these books that Juno Dawson wrote are all written for teenagers about how to help come out as gay and things like that. It is a groomer book. It's disgusting, and this is who they're hiring. Now, the podcast that this person writes, which does Doctor Who audio dramas, already has been described by The Guardian as very gay and very trans. I've never listened to it because, oh my gosh, this sounds terrible. But this is it, the very gay, very trans, incredible Doctor Who spinoff that's breathing new life into the franchise. Oh, I'm sure this is what the fans want. It weaves transgender-led regional storyline around the TARDIS, and its team explains how the zingy, sparky show put 3 queer women front and center. Oh, please clap, everybody. That's what it's all about with these people every single time. They never talk about their good science fiction. They never talk about their good platforms. They never talk about any writing abilities or anything like that. It's always just about their weird gender politics. It's always about their weird sexual fetishes, and that's all they do. And you can see that's kind of all Russell T Davies is doing, talking about the show and going out and bumbling about the show as well. It's all he cares about. He wants to groom people. Russell T Davies actually said that he wants this new Doctor Who to, quote, appeal to young people with its weird gay messaging and things like that. The entire intent is to get young people into their little cult, and that's all it's about. Of course, young people are not watching this as much as he says, and the BBC's been saying that the demographic for that has the highest percentage of young people ever. It's a percentage of a declining viewership because people just don't find fun in this nonsense right here. So according to the podcast, of course, we've talked about, but now this person's writing the Doctor Who show proper. And he posted an Instagram video when fans said, oh gosh, we don't want this kind of crap in our show. And he plays victim, of course, because this is what they do every single time. He says, yesterday was a real reminder that trans people cannot publicly have success. We are not allowed to do well without getting a slew of shit on social media. Oh my gosh. So sad, the victim. And of course, put this weird low-cut shirt with this to be gross as well. I should be able to do my job without being abused, particularly on Twitter. Now, this is pretty funny right there. Being abused on Twitter is people criticizing the choices of all this weird identity politics being shoved into stuff, making the show not fun. That's abuse now. Fan criticism is abuse, right? And that's how these people always do. They always come out here and do this. This is like a Disney marketing 101. If you remember Star Wars The Acolyte last year, everybody didn't want this. They did their lesbian Space Wishes version of Star Wars, and nobody wanted it. It was all about identity. All they talked about was diverse Star Wars, the most diverse ever. And nobody wanted it. And so what happened was Amanda Stenberg came out there and started ranting about how she's, quote, being abused and the like, right? She even made that cringy song, and that's exactly what they do. Now, this is pretty funny because this guy even admits he's not on Twitter, so how's he getting abused on Twitter? I mean, I deleted my main account years ago, so you're not getting abused. You're not even being tagged or anything because you're not there. Now, of course, all these people like to say that they're off Twitter because Twitter's bad now because Trump, Elon, right? So they love to say that. But this is such a lie, obviously. You're obviously not being abused on Twitter, which is X. You're dead naming X, Juno. Oh my gosh, that's transphobic. Terrible. But I looked at what people were saying, and it's really disgusting. People should not be allowed to say those things about somebody. Okay, no examples as always, and it's probably just people saying that they don't want this in their Doctor Who, just like we've been saying all along. Pretty obvious right there. So this person is out there just searching his name and going out there and doing that and then crying foul because of it. Well, boo-hoo. Well, guess what? You are all about grifting off of identity politics. That's your entire shtick. That's your entire shtick, even with Doctor Who, is to grift off this stuff. And yes, there's going to be criticism when people see that. So take it and stop whining at the fans and blaming the fans for things because it's actually your fault. Yeah, it's just because I'm trans. If I was cisgender, I don't think this would be an issue. But I need to ignore that because, I won. Yes, you won, but you're playing victim. You're saying that nobody should be allowed to say things. You say that nobody should be allowed to criticize this stuff. And that's exactly who these people are every single time. They play victor. They mock the fans. They declare that they won. And they try to force this identity politics. They try to force this nasty stuff into the shows to force you to watch it. And more importantly to them, force your kids to watch it. That's what it's all about. And it's really, really sick. And everybody's sick of it at this point. I don't think anybody's going to be watching this. Once this episode comes, I'm sure it's going to be a complete disaster. And I'm sure it's going to be filled with wokeness because that's, again, all this person does for a living is just grift off wokeness. And so it's going to fail at a spectacular rate. I expect season 2 to be even worse rated than season 1, and that's where we're headed. Leave a comment down below with what you think, my friends. Oh my gosh. Where to even start? Hit the like and subscribe button, and do check out my science fiction. No identity politics, no weird stuff. This is classic, fun science fiction. This is action adventure. You're going to love this, guys, if you love old Doctor Who. Thank you for checking it out. It's in the description below. Grab the whole series today on ebook, print, and audio. Thanks again.